If you're watching a video like this one, I take it that you're somebody who's interested in getting your finances in check. But for most people, and even in my life, saving the first 1,000 is always next to impossible. It seems to be so difficult, especially if it's something that you've not done in a long time, or maybe even ever before. It seems like the unreachable milestone. But you know what's incredibly interesting? Once you've saved 1,000, getting to 10,000 seems to be extremely easy and quick. So I want to explain why over the course of this video. I'm going to explain why this is such a phenomenon and why this should be real motivation for you guys. If you do enjoy these videos, please make sure to leave a like, make sure to subscribe. It does help me out a lot. But yeah, coming straight into this one. So saving 1,000, and this can be pounds, dollars, whatever currency, right? But, you know, mainly something like that. Pounds, dollars, euros. The first 1,000 seems to be so impossible. You've got rent to pay, bills, unexpected costs. Oftentimes, saving 1,000 requires some sort of a lifestyle change. Because if you have a high-paying job and relatively low costs, you probably wouldn't be watching a video like this because saving 1,000 would happen easily, quickly, and naturally. You wouldn't even have to try. Well, for most people who don't save 1,000, or can't save 1,000, or haven't saved 1,000, it's oftentimes because it is difficult. The numbers just do not work. To often save this first 1,000, you have to do one of two things, if not both. Number one is reduce your outgoings. Now, this may include cutting back on things that you think are essential and necessary. It may also mean finding better deals for the things that you have. I've used the example before of something that I learnt about with my own mobile phone, right? I could get a contract for 50% of the price with more data, more information, right? It's better off for me to save half of the money. So you quickly begin to audit your finances and you realize that there is oftentimes cuts that could be made in your financial circumstances which will make you better off. But then there are probably 20-30% of people, maybe less, who truly cannot cut their costs. And I understand if you have a family or something, right? This channel basically is for people around my age, maybe younger, maybe older. But if you can't cut those costs, it may be time to increase the workload and productivity slightly. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean go to work more. It means find a more efficient way to work and or work more, right, in your job. It's one or the other. But I would personally, in my experience, recommend perhaps taking that time and investing that into a higher paying skill like building a business. But while saving the first 1,000 is next to impossible, once you get the ball rolling, you have had to do one of two things, as I say. Cut down on your living expenses or increase your income. Now, whilst painful in both scenarios, these are skills which you will take going forwards. You will now take these skills and money will build naturally because, like I say, your income will go further, you will save more, and you'll be motivated to save. And that's the second big point, the psychological. If 1,000 feels like the big milestone, then it's very difficult to do. And you oftentimes get into a self-perpetuating cycle where you don't think you can ever save 1,000, so you don't try and save 1,000, so you really can't save 1,000. Once the first 1,000 is in there, you're like, oh, I've saved 1,000. It took me 2 years, 5 years, 10 years to save 1,000 even. But now I have 1,000. So now I can save 2,000, 5,000. And in my experience, 5,000 is a number where things really begin to snowball. But once you've saved one, you now have the psychological commitment to just see how far can this get. And there's two reasons for that. Number one is human interest. But most people may say, well, I don't think I'd have that interest. Well, the second reason is something much, much more profound. And that is when you have 1,000 for the first time, you understand what it feels like to live free. Now, if you have 1,000, it's not 1,000,000. You'll still be working your job, you'll still be not rich, and big bills may still put you out of money. But for the most part, having 1,000, it pays for unexpected sick days at work, it pays for unexpected appliance breakdowns, it pays for the car breaking down, it gives you opportunities to take work, opportunities like travel, for career development. So your mindset shifts and then you become a can-do person. So you can do 1,000 and you know how free you feel now that you don't have to worry about a rent increase of 5%. because that wouldn't be a concern most likely. But then you think, okay, so I'm this free with 1,000. I'd be really free with 10 or 5. So the psychology behind it becomes easy. Now the second point is investing. Once you've got 1,000, you've got cash to play with most likely, especially when you get up to 2, 3, 4,000, right? If you've never had 1,000, you may have an emergency fund of 1,000 or 2,000 or 5,000. It depends how much you need to survive. But once you get over the 1,000 mark, most likely, you can begin to understand financial well-being, financial health. It becomes easier to comprehend. So then you think, well, I've got money now. I can make money from my money. It's called investing. And investing, guys, this is so true, so true. Investing can be unbelievable. I'll give you a simple example, right, of something that happened in my life. I had money in an asset. The money was about, let's say, 5,000, right? The asset went up something like 2%, maybe something like that. And by the end of the day, I made £85. In a lot of jobs, that's a part-time shift, maybe even a full-time shift, and I didn't do anything. You make money just for having money, so money naturally builds easier, and the more you have, the more it compounds. So you begin to learn about investing, you begin to learn about business, and things naturally begin to advance on that front anyway, which is always good to see. So this is really a milestone for a lot of people where financial well-being meets with personal responsibility, where understanding meets with goals and aspiration. And as hard as it seems, trust me guys, when you get that 1,000, the snowball effect really kicks off. And then there's the opportunities that may directly or indirectly come just from having money available, as I've said before. Like I say, you can invest in assets which you think or know are going to go up because you've got spare cash. Now, I might give you a return of 10%, 100%. You don't know. It depends what it is, right? Then you've got other investments, like the investment that I think can never fail. Not financial advice, of course. But the investment that I think is safe to say can never fail is you. I'm talking self-belief. I'm talking business building. Like if you've got 10,000 in saving or even 1,000, right? You've got breathing room. You can maybe work a bit less. Because of that, you can maybe invest time in building a business and actually trying to create some personal wealth and freedom. And I think all of this ties into a point where having that money builds money going forward. And I think this is something which is just infinitely beneficial to anybody who goes down the avenue of this journey. And it is a journey. And it is a difficult journey. But it's a journey that's absolutely worth it. It's absolutely worth every second of the journey. And it's a journey that will change your life. Because trust me guys, when you have 1,000, saving 10 becomes much easier.